Khaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sandho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Shanvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantasto Hi Bhadrani Vidunoti Shuhatsatam Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhakti Naishtaki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I just first of all want to thank you, Vamsadari Prabhu, and all the devotees for giving me this opportunity. And as Vamsadari Prabhu and Shatrupa Mataji was mentioning this morning, that it was Devi Murti Mataji's idea to do this series of glorification of Srimad-Bhagavatam. So, my sincere thanks to her also. So this was actually the series of questions that Lakshmikanta Prabhu sent out. It was actually really nice because, we realize that just like often our chanting, our Srimad Bhagavatam also becomes mechanical. We sometimes don't take that pause in seeing, where we were, where the roots, where it all started and where we're going. So this questions that Prabhu sent was actually really contemplative. And I've been thinking about it over the weekend as to, what is my personal journey with the Srimad Bhagavatam, and how can I really glorify Srimad Bhagavatam? In one sense, Srimad Bhagavatam is so glorious that, no matter how much we glorify it, there can never be enough that can be said about this Srimad Bhagavatam. But yet, it has, as the speakers will speak, we will all see how it has touched our lives in different ways, how it has really changed our perception, as Srila Ramapat Swami Maharaj was mentioning yesterday, that it's not that the circumstances around us change, but rather our perception and our ability to deal with circumstances, how it changes that. So I just wanted to give a little bit of glimpse of my own journey and how it is changing me personally only, internally as well as externally on how I do things. So in the beginning, the preface of the Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada mentions that despite there is so much progress in this material comforts, education, economic development, there is still a pinprick somewhere in the social body at large. And when I first read that, that's how I personally came to Krishna Consciousness, because as many people, they migrate to this country, specifically, our family, our goal was the economic progress, economic prosperity. And that was our focus. So even after achieving that American dream, I felt that pinprick, that vacuum, I guess, internal vacuum, that this material life just wasn't providing. And then in search for something to fulfill that, I came across Krishna Consciousness. I came to the temple. I almost want to say I was saved by Srila Prabhupada and his books, and my mentor, Prema Tarangini Mathaji, and her guidance. So that void in my life, as I read, as I started attending Srimad-Bhagavatam classes in the mornings with Prem Tarangini Mataji, I had so many questions over the years. So long reading Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, all those questions, they started to get answered. And as we were reading, some of the questions came up that I never even thought to ask, especially the very first chapter, questioned by the sages. Like it never occurred to me even to think about what is the ultimate and absolute good for all people. I was so self-focused on how to bring about or how to be what's good for me, like those, or what's the essence of all scriptures. So it just made Srimad Bhagavatam not only gives you answers, but it also makes you think further about what's good for everybody. So it's not a scripture that is meant just for certain type of people. It's meant for everybody. And that leads me to tell the next step. So those classes were obviously very impressionable. It definitely increased my faith in Srimad Bhagavatam. And I was reading it on and off with my children throughout the years. But there were times where I would try to meditate that this this words, this Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya, because I was on and off here and there, reading Srimad Bhagavatam because I knew it was important. But my real journey, I would say, it began with the little bit of push from Vamsadari Prabhu and Shatrupa Mataji, when Prabhu had initially got inspired to start these reading groups. They had asked me to see if I would lead a reading group. And with my busy schedule, I declined, and I said, no, there is no time. Where would I fit in reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day? So they said that just try. So the only time that I could think of to fit in my schedule was during my lunchtime. And somehow I used to nap actually during my lunchtime. I would have an hour lunch. So normally I would honor prasadam, and I would just, because I would had such a long day, I start early in the morning, I would just sleep during my lunchtime. So I wasn't, ready to give up that sleeping time. But given or Vamsai Prabhu and Shatrama, just try it. If it doesn't work, you can always stop. So I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And that little push, that little bit of startup has been such a revolutionary in my life. I feel this just reading the Srimad-Bhagavatam every day with the group of devotees who are really, you know, because they're so enthusiastic, because they have so much faith, because they are so eager to read every day. uh, I feel like almost, I'm woken up from my sleep, uh, of this being in ignorance and sleeping. So that journey we started was February 2020. And it was actually just started with two people initially. It was just myself and Mathaji. Um, and we were just reading. We started with Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then we expanded it to inviting more people, and then we started reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's been like 2.5 years of consistently reading Monday through Friday, 30 to 45 minutes a day. And we completed the four cantos, fourth canto, and then we completed the first chapter of the fifth canto, which is like almost, I feel like, unimaginable. I would have never thought to read so consistently and, getting this far. So it's been an absolutely enlivening, faith-building, nourishing, giving a lot of shelter from reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day, especially all my group members. We remember, we were so grateful. We were so felt sheltered during pandemic. Reading Srimad Bhagavatam, connecting with Krishna every day. It was, really just, while there was so much unrest and so much going on in the world, but every day coming together and reading for an hour, we felt, all of us had shared over time that, we're ready to let, whatever comes our way. We're ready with with Krishna on our side, ready to tackle anything that comes our way. So, that's really kind of like in general my story with Srimad Bhagavatam. Also, there was a question about like favorite verses. So, I personally struggle with my Sanskrit pronunciation and shloka recitation. But, there are obviously some that definitely have touched my heart and given me a lot of hope. So one of them is the 1.5.11. Oh, you know what? I pulled them up. Maybe I'll share. So just in general, with my profession and just in terms of my nature, I've always been like a listener type of a person, not so much, talking type. So I've always had people share their difficulties and what they've gone through. And, when you hear sometimes so much, you always, wonder, like, what is the cure? Like, what is it? What is going on in the world? And, in this verse, this 1.5.11, this word really kind of gave me that clue that this transcendental knowledge, these transcendental word, this literature is actually is what is needed to direct, to bring about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. So a lot of times, we can tend to just, blame it on the Lord, or people, I saw that people just said that, but, it's giving us a clue that it's, it's this literature, it's because of our impious lives, that's what we're living. That's what's in this misdirected society, where there is no real knowledge. this literature is what is going to bring about the revolution. So that's one verse that, really I like. Another one is this one. It's, very simple one, but I have somebody who I've always had to travel throughout my life. So ever since I was young, and you make those connections, you make those attachments, you make those friends, and then you have to leave them, and that sometimes that cause a lot of pain and distress, and to really understand that I never kind of, in one sense, how do I say it? Yeah, I never liked that part of separating. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I didn't like it. And especially like recently after coming to Krishna Consciousness, I had really difficult time when my mentor, when she moved, and it was, I just had felt really sheltered, protected under her care. And when you feel that you want to be in that person's association. So when she left, two of my really good friends, they moved away. And so, I was always, looking for that. How do I find comfort in those difficult times? And then this verse always gave me a lot of shelter that, just as the player sets up and disperses his playthings according to his own sweet will, so the supreme will of the Lord brings men together and separates them. So just seeing, this supreme will of the Lord, that, Krishna knows what is the best for me, for that person. What is, this is Krishna's will. When I came to acceptance of that, it made those transitions or that person's leaving little, still painful, but a little easier. So this verse, I do take a lot of shelter of this, personally, this verse when, we're separated, or, last year we lost my father-in-law. And that was also very difficult. So just remembering that behind everything, there is a supreme will of Krishna. And he is, my best friend, my well-wisher, and he's doing what's best for me. Just remembering that gives a lot of comfort. And a couple more. And then this one is, famous, same thing. This this one I want to share next one. This Tattenu-kampam, Susamakshamanovers, that, as we're going through this Anartha-nivritti part of our journey, and when things become really difficult, and you just sometimes feel, oh my God, I don't think I can go on. Just remembering this verse, this Lord Brahma's prayers to the Lord, that, my dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So just awaiting, Krishna's mercy, and all the while realizing that, I'm paying off my karmic debt. I'm paying off, this what is deserving, what's needed, helps a lot. And then this one, in terms of this Kali Yuga is ocean of faults. But there's still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. So this chanting, how it is all that in one sense we need, even though there is so much going on in Kali Yuga, we realize we have so much, so much cleaning to do, so much dirt is there. But just this, simply by chanting, like just that is, gives me courage to keep going. So what else I wanted to share? So those are some of my favorite verses, and I would say one favorite memory and reciprocation from Srimad-Bhagavatam is like a really sort of etched into my heart and my mind, is this when we were reading Srimad or Canto 2, there is this whole section about how everything is controlled. There is controlling deities, demigods for all the activities we do, for the mind and the body and our senses. And while I was reading that, I realized, or I felt that there is so much control. There's so, like, we're so controlled. Like, do we really have free will? Do we really have Krishna, or we hear that, we have free will, but I really questioned that. I really struggled with that. I just thought, no, we don't. Like, we're really like a puppet in Krishna's hand. I don't have any choice. Everything is being done by somebody else. And, I presented that to my, my Guru Maharaj, and, he explained it to me. I heard his answers like multiple times, and yet, it was almost like I wasn't ready to accept. I was hearing, but I wasn't hearing. And one day we were reading Srimad-Bhagavatam in our group, and then all of a sudden, literally as if like a light bulb went on, like everything became clear, and I'm like, oh, I do have free will choice. And just that realization that all of a sudden, that reciprocation that came from Srimad-Bhagavatam, like things in that moment became like crystal clear, that yes, there's so much control because I'm in this material world, but that choice, I always have a choice. I always have that free will choice to go towards, as my Guru Maharaj had put it, towards light, towards Krishna, or away in the darkness from Krishna. So that has really been my very favorite memory with Srimad-Bhagavatam. And like I shared earlier, that I really feel Srila Prabhupada's this labor of love that he has put in. We hear how he only slept for 2 hours, writing these commentaries, and then we all, like, I always wonder for what, for who, and why. But it's really these words of Srila Prabhupada has saved, I feel like personally, me and so many people, I'm sure, and just we have all received it. So just as I've been saved, I also feel there's so many more people in the world are looking to be saved, who need to be saved, who are especially right now with the way whole the humanity is suffering, and Vaisheshika Prabhu's this Save the Earth campaign is really is what is needed at this time. This word we hear, Devi Murti Mataji had put in the book distribution team, that this is a panacea. So I looked up this word panacea. What does it really mean? What is this panacea? So panacea in the dictionary describes that it's a solution or a remedy for all difficulties. Or, another place that said it's a cure. It's cure for all ills. So not, just for, or, just physical, that people are suffering, or mental or emotional or psychological. It's a cure for all, for everything. One can, one can feel, just taking this shelter of Srimad-Bhagavatam is really, um, is what's going to save people. And I also feel, like I said, it's just as we have been saved by Srila Prabhupada and his teachings and his words. I think it is all our duty also to save others. Otherwise, we are all, in one sense, just misers, keeping this this wealth that we have received to ourselves. So as Vamsai Prabhu had started yesterday, saying that if we all, just take that effort to distribute at least this goal of just 5 Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm sure we can think and call and, ask. At least asking, if we can even just take that step, as Vaishika Prabhu says, is just, just hitting the pavement, just doing that first step, and then depending on Krishna to do the rest is all we need to do from our part. So I would, I personally have made a commitment to try to distribute, at least 5 Srimad Bhagavatam sets or more. And, I want to obviously encourage all of us to do the same. So thank you all very much for listening. 7:58. I will stop here and just leave a couple more minutes for any sharing or discussion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mathaji.
Hare Prabhu.
It was certainly inspiring that you are able to give up your nap time for Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah, somehow by your
I mean, it's not me, but yeah, thank you very much for your inspiring. Thank you for sharing your inspirations. Actually, it is really motivating and double committing for me. Thank you, Mataji. Haribol.
Haribol.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing. It's really inspiring. Even one thing, my love for Srila Prabhupada has grown, especially when I heard from Maharaj recently in one of his talks that I always used to have a question, like there are so many other acharyas, you can always follow their literature or their whatever they written, the books and all those things. But then I thought, why Srila Prabhupada? Then Maharaj has answered that the people like me in this world, we don't understand that high philosophy. So Srila Prabhupada did that work for all of us, that we can understand who are we, that kind of answers. So, and my love for Srila Prabhupada has grown even more after hearing that. But you also brought that up. Thank you for sharing too.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Mataji, wonderful realizations, and thank you so much for sharing. It was really inspiring to understand your journey into Krishna consciousness. And, I somewhat have a similar, kind of, I guess, entrance into Krishna consciousness. Like, everything was there, but then that question, that prick was there, like what is this, why is this, right? So, and then coming into association with devotees, it definitely helped me stay on the track, because it was always there, but it was like up and down, and it was more like motivated kind of say, right? But Srila Prabhupada has really taught what real, devotional service means, uninterrupted, unmotivated. And so, it's like you really understand the meaning of devotional service. Until now, I always thought, I was a bhakta or devotee, and then little did I understand that no, I was nothing actually, until I understood what Prabhupada's definitions of devotional service meant. So I'm very grateful to Association of Devotees and ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada, all the gurus. It's just amazing and wonderful experience. So thank you for all your associations. And I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your story and realizations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so thankful to my reading group and all the everybody that reads together, because there are days where I really, I am exhausted and I am wanting to take a nap, but because they are so enthusiastic, and especially like your mother and your sister, they're like the two front horses pulling the cart for all of us to read Srimad-Bhagavatam. So I'm really extremely thankful for the association that I have. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing nice realizations. Especially, I think the reciprocation of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, it happens with many of the devotees. I mean, yeah, I remember you were keep asking that question every class, right? I mean, every time when that Maharaj was reading that. So even I had that, problem. I mean, everything is controlled. I mean, second canto when we were reading. So even our eyebrows, we cannot move without the sanction of the demigod, right?
Right.
Who is in control. So yeah, I remember that question you were asking. So, but yeah, I think I remember even Maharaj was answering that thing multiple times.
Yes. Yes.
uh,
Thank you.
Sharing your, how Bhagavatam reciprocated with you. Gives, maybe I don't know. I don't think you mentioned exactly what it is, but yeah, I think you were reading something. You said it gave that light bulb, right? Saying that, yeah, I have a free will.
Yeah, we were reading Srimad-Bhagavatam itself. During just that time, it was like an aha moment. You're like, oh, I do. Yeah, it was just, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it was just, something like wasn't making sense, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, it makes sense now. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. If you don't mind, I wanted to share this. I think when I began, when I started coming into Krishna consciousness in like I guess the stronger way, right? And it was like, I think almost 4 years ago. And my initial, I guess, revolution came when I heard His Grace Amoghita Prabhu. And he had said that 6 things in our life were fixed, which were birth, death, fame, infamy, happiness, and distress. So all 6 things are definitely controlled and given to us no matter what from our previous karmas and everything, right? But then how we deal with those is what is in our control. That is our choice, free will of choice. That, if we have some kind of distress, if we go against the will of Lord and, not follow injunctions of Shastra and think that, I can control this and make things better for myself or I can make things worse for someone else, that is when we are building our new karmas. And that's our choice that we made. But the things that are supposed to happen will happen. How we react or respond to those is our choice, which is the main thing that builds us our new karmas and everything. So or nullifies, right, by going to Krishna. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, thank you. That's really nice, actually.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you for sharing. But I thought it's important just to mention, because I had this opportunity to work with you for some time, and I see why it's important for you to rest in between. So I know your day starts around 4:30 in the morning, and And I think I saw it personally, how busy the place where you work. You'll be like constantly, working and interacting with patients, and that too, even after coming back home, you have to take care of the, you know, chores and then cooking. And so I know how busy your day is, and I see that half an hour is very important for you to rest. But I personally witnessed you, um, how I started with you, and I remember that day. But I feel very grateful that the kind of effort or the energy or the effort you put in to make sure we all are joining, and you actually genuinely try to help, to personally reach to everyone, and then checking on every one of us, and letting us share and our opinions or feelings about what realizations about Bhagavatam. So I really want to thank you about that. But I see it's a very big thing for me to, it's a big help to me personally, that I got benefited to reading Bhagavatam with you, with all other Matajis. Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Yes, Prabhu, Balaram Prasad Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. I logged in late. I did not realize there was a class this evening, but at least I heard 5-10 minutes last. So now everybody is inspired to distribute Bhagavatam. I don't know when I'll get that inspiration. But one thing I'm praying is that maybe Krishna give me that desire, so that I have a desire, but Krishna has to fulfill that. I will try. One thing is, when I am very stressful, whenever we are very stressful, a lot of stress, we don't know what to do. We'll yell at children and then yell at something. People say do pranayam, whatever, whatnot. And because of that stress, I've seen that some gastric trouble will start, something will start, right? So whenever I have that experience of stress and whatnot, well, once in a while I'll just take, it's not a regular thing, but once in a while I'll just take Srimad-Bhagavatam. Even one page I read, it calms me down, completely calms me down. I don't know what it is in Srimad-Bhagavatam. I have no idea. I know it's the incarnation of Krishna, so on and so forth, but we are right. But somehow calms us down, and you will be slowly feeling something, Krishna, something protection. I don't know what to say, but it's a protection or a joy. You feel something pacifying. That's all I can tell you. So even if you go pray Krishna, please remove my stress, calm down, maybe chant Hare Krishna. Sometimes I can't even chant Hare Krishna when I'm stressful. But at least if you read, that makes a little bit of calming down. Recently I heard from Amogalila Prabhu that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that Srimad-Bhagavatam refers to the mercy of Radharani. So when you hear Srimad-Bhagavatam, that means you are getting the mercy of Radharani. And then you can chant the holy name, who is not Krishna. Krishna means holy name is non-different than Krishna. So I never heard that. Recently I heard that, but it was something new to me. Somebody asked, where is this reference? And it was coming from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So if you really need mercy of Krishna, that means you have to hear Srimad-Bhagavatam, and then you can chant the holy name of Krishna by the mercy of. So that is why sometimes we feel, hearing has to be there, otherwise you cannot chant Hare Krishna. Why hearing? I was thinking, why hearing? So now I understand there is a mercy Radharani gives us to remember Krishna while hearing Srimad-Bhagavatam. Then that's what inspires us to even chant Hare Krishna. So that's why it's important. especially when whether you read alone or real group will definitely make sense. Reading alone will also mind bothers, but still, in fact, nobody is there still Srimad Bhagavatam, no matter what. So I thought of just sharing a little bit. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, I'm sure many of us can relate to that. That, whenever there is in times of needs, if we just, go to Srimad Bhagavatam, even if we read something or, we feel pacified. Or, if we have a question, we open it up and sure enough, the answer is right there. So, there is definitely that, the power and reciprocation from Srimad Bhagavatam. But that's, I've never heard of that it's mercy of, Radharani that we're receiving as we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you for sharing, Prabhu. Okay. Lakshmikanta Prabhu, shall we end here?
Yes,
No,
Mataji.
no,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity and hearing, and let us all put our effort, and as Prabhu said, let us all pray, to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam for pleasure of Lord Krishna and pleasure of Srimad Bhagavatam. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.